Hey guys, so today I have swatches of the newest collection from Mooncat. This is the Baroquen collection. There are 8 polishes here altogether. I'm running a little bit behind, so these have been available for a little bit. I will link the Mooncat website down below where you guys can check these out. I will have comparisons after the swatches, so let's get into it. These are the boxes that the Mooncat polishes come in. Sometimes there are special edition boxes, but these are just the standard ones. The first polish is a topper. This is called Hall of Mirrors, and this is silver flakies in a clear base. So I have this over one of the new Hollow Taco shades, Nip in the Bud, I think. Great formula on this one. Flakies apply really evenly. They're very evenly distributed. No bald spots, no chunks or buildup of flakies anywhere. And these little flakies will dry flat and will not be difficult to remove. So that is 1 coat of Hall of Mirrors on its own and with matte top coat. The next polish is called Love's Labyrinth, and this is described as a light sage green holographic. This is a beautiful shade of holographic. Great formula on this one, very even, a little bit sheer on the first coat, but not terrible. This covered completely for me on 2 coats, and it has a decently strong holographic. It's not going to blind you, it's not one of those insane holographics, but it will be stronger after everything is fully dry, and that includes your top coat. So that is 2 coats of Love's Labyrinth. The next polish is called Castle of Cobwebs, so this is described as a slate gray with blue shimmer. This is also a glow-in-the-dark polish, so here it is just with my filming light off but still in daylight, which is a pretty intense glow, and then here it is in the dark, glowing green. Great formula on this one, a touch sheer, but a really good blue sparkle in here. This one does dry a little bit dull, but that is pretty typical for any kind of special effect polish, I feel like, glow-in-the-dark or thermal. Applies very evenly and does start to build up pretty nicely here, but I did still have a little bit of nail line showing. It's hard to see on camera, but I could see it more in person. I did add a 3rd coat, which covered that barely visible nail line, but overall I think the opacity just looks better with 3 coats anyway. So that is 3 coats of Castle of Cobwebs. Now the camera always picks up the glow a little better than you see it in person. That being said, this does have a really good glow in person. The next polish is called Fleur Sauvage, and this is described as a light orange with chromy pink shimmer. Beautiful shimmer on this, very even, great formula, but a bit sheer. There's a lot of shimmer, but it's still a bit sheer on that first coat. It built up really nicely on that second coat. Shimmer built up nicely, color built up nicely. I could see a little bit of nail line still, so I did decide to add a 3rd just to see what this could do. And it did get a bit more vibrant in those 3 coats and cover that tiny little bit of nail line, which I don't think anyone would notice completely. So that is 3 coats of Fleur Sauvage. The next polish is La Petite Mort, which is described as a light blue magnetic filled with hollow shimmer, iridescent flakies, and hollow glitter that reveals a silver magnetic stripe. A bit sheer on that first coat, but not terrible. The magnetic is nice and strong here, cat eye style, and the blue shimmer in here glows really nicely. I was actually suspicious that it was not going to have a strong magnetic pull because I couldn't really see it well in the bottle, but it turns out fine on the nails. And this easily covered for me in 2 coats, and the color built up really nicely. Those flakies that are in there are not going to be too much of a problem. A little bit of texture and maybe a little bit of difficulty removing it, but not like a glitter. So that is 2 coats of La Petite Mort, cat eye style, velvet style, and unmagnetized. You know, they say that that's a silver magnetic stripe, but it almost seems a teeny bit gold to me. The next polish is called the Stolen Kiss, and this is described as lilac pink filled with chromy, color-shifting yellow to blue to green shimmer. Great formula, beautiful sparkle, very even, pretty sheer. There is a lot of sparkle in here, which is going to distract the eye a bit from the nail line, but it is pretty sheer overall. Builds up pretty well on the second coat. There is still a little bit of visible nail line. It's minor, but I'll add a 3rd coat just to see what it can do, but you can see that sparkle really starting to build. Covers completely here in 3 coats, and I am really liking the contrast between the base color and the shimmer, shifty shimmer color. So that is 3 coats of the Stolen Kiss. The next polish is called Banquet of Breadcrumbs, and this is described as a bright yellow-green with chromy yellow-green shimmer. Great formula, great shimmer, nice and sparkly, covers very evenly here, but, you know, sheer. You can see my nail line. Again, that shimmer is going to distract from it, but it is still there. The color and the shimmer and the coverage start to build up here on the second coat. You can see that green color really coming out with 2 coats. Still a little bit of nail line. You do have to look for it, but it is still there. Covered completely and better color here on the 3rd coat. I did put a bit of a thick 3rd coat on here. I realized when I was going that the second coat was not quite dry, so oops. So that is 3 coats of Banquet of Breadcrumbs. I would say this is 2 or 3, just depending on your nail line style preference. And lastly, we have Such Sweet Sorrow, which is a blue purple polish filled with color shifting purple to pink shimmer. This one is so cool because it looks so blue in the bottle and so purple on the nails. So great formula here. Shimmer covers very evenly. It is fairly sheer, but it has a very nice pink sparkle. And despite coming off pretty sheer, I feel like this covered completely for me in 2 coats. Now that I'm looking at it on camera, I can see a little bit of nail line, but I wasn't seeing that too much in person, so I'm not going to worry about it. So that is 2 coats of Such Sweet Sorrow. Hall of Mirrors is my one lone wolf here. I don't have anything close to this in my Mooncat collection. I did have a gold flaky topper that was similar to this, but I didn't pull it just because it's gold, and that's obviously the difference. I didn't think that we needed to talk about that. So I don't have anything for this one in my Mooncat collection. Like in most cases, I don't think this is a particularly unique polish, but it is unique to what I have from Mooncat. As always, I preface this by saying that I do my comparisons within the same brand just to streamline things due to the sheer size of my collection. If there are other things from other brands or from Mooncat that you do want to see compared, please tell me in the comments. So starting out with Love's Labyrinth, this is a beautiful shade of holographic. I don't have anything close to this shade of holographic in my Mooncat collection, though I do have Devil's Ivy, which is a magnetic, very, very similar base colors. I did not magnetize this just for comparison's sake. Very similar base colors between Love's Labyrinth and Devil's Ivy, just obviously 2 different effects. Castle of Cobwebs is obviously a glow-in-the-dark polish, which I don't have a clip of glowing yet. I need to make a note to do that. I also am not sure that this wheel got top coat. Some of them look like they did, and Castle of Cobwebs looks like it did not. So this is Castle of Cobwebs here, here, and here. And starting out with Head in the Clouds, this is a smoother, lighter, more gray polish with that really glowy blue shimmer to it, and obviously doesn't glow in the dark. This is Mercury in Retrograde. This is a magnetic that I did not magnetize. This is also much more blue with a smoother pink shimmer. This is Ghosts of Hecate. This is white, essentially, with that same like glowy blue shimmer and some holographic, so nothing close there. This one is Ragdoll. I believe Ragdoll glows in the dark also, but I didn't make a note of it, so I'm not entirely sure. Yes, Ragdoll is also a glow in the dark polish, but it is very blue without the same kind of shimmer to it. And then this is Artemis Death Kiss, kind of similar base color, that like slightly taupey gray with a purpley pink shimmer, so probably the closest here, but really nothing super close. Nothing close even remotely when we consider that it glows in the dark. Next we have La Petite Mort, which I have 2 fears in life, and that is death and speaking French out loud, so I don't like it. This is here and here. This is a magnetic polish. So the first one here is Malacca Mystica. This is also a magnetic polish, but I don't have either magnetized. Not even remotely close. I was looking for magnetics with flakies. That was kind of my only parameter for comparisons for this one, or really just anything that was like flakies in a base. So that's why nothing looks the same here. This is Firefly Forest. Purple, not even close. And then this one is Bermuda Triangle, again very pink, but I do want to try to justify myself a little bit with Bermuda Triangle and show you what it looks like in the bottle next to La Petite Mort. This is what La Petite Mort here and Bermuda Triangle here look like together in the bottle. And then this is how they swatched, obviously, here. So I just want to try to justify myself a little bit. This happens quite often where I pick things that I think look really close in the bottle because they have a very shifty shimmer, and then once they get swatched, they're completely different polishes. So nothing close here either. Just for funsies, I did put Malacca Mystica and La Petite Mort together and magnetize them, just cat eye style, which again dissipated a lot, even though they literally dried on the magnet. This took me like days to do all these coats just in passing. So I don't know. Everything I thought about magnetic polish is kind of falling apart right now. But there they are, magnetized, still not close. Okay, next I have Fleur Sauvage, which is going to be here and here. This is Stolen Ambrosia, which is, these are kind of all sisters. This might be a cousin, but in general, these are all very close. So Stolen Ambrosia is here. This is brighter, pops a little bit more, and has a bit of a smoother shimmer going on. It doesn't have this kind of broken up, chunkier shimmer. I never know how to describe
that properly. But this is more pink. The shimmer is a bit brighter and fierier, I guess. More fiery. And this one here is Molten Lava. This does dry matte on its own, but I did top coat it. This is a very chunky because it's made up primarily of flakies. I'm actually gonna see if I can tip this because you're not seeing, there we go. You're not seeing the same angle that I'm seeing. Okay, this is better. I'm just gonna hold it. So this is Molten Lava here. It's got chunkier flakies to it. And then this one here is Witch Hazel, which looks very light and airy and gold. So we kind of overshot the saturation with these two and kind of undershot it a little bit here. So nothing super close. These get a little wiggly. I apologize. I think it's going to be easier for the camera to see the shimmers and stuff if I hold them more upright rather than stick them down. I might have to make some kind of wedge that I can stick them to that holds them at this angle. Add to the to-do list. So here is Such Sweet Sorrow. This is Ghost Ship. This is a magnetic, but I did not magnetize it. This is much more purple and doesn't have that contrasting shimmer to it. And then this one here is The Glory of Innocence, which is also more purple and has a different contrasting shimmer, as well as a slight holographic here. So nothing close there. So this is Banquet of Breadcrumbs, which is here and here. So right off the bat, you can tell that this has a very unique finish to the rest of these polishes. That's the primary difference. This is Apple of My Eye. Smoother, obviously doesn't have this chunky, almost glitter-like finish. More of a lime green and then has a contrasting pink shimmer. This one here is Plankton, darker green. Again, smoother shimmer, doesn't have this chunky, kind of flaky, glittery look to it. And then this one is My Bugs, which I feel like is also maybe glow in the dark. It is. So that's also glow in the dark. Does have a slightly chunkier finish to it, but still not that like bright mirror-like glittery, flaky thing. And a bit more green, where I feel like Banquet of Breadcrumbs almost comes off a little bit of a muted green. Maybe even like slightly leaning towards gold. Also, sorry if you can hear my stomach. Nothing close there. And lastly, we have Stolen Kiss, which is right here in the middle. This is High Fructose, which is actually kind of close. I mean, it's not a dupe, but it's close-ish. It's a little bit of a lighter pink, maybe even more pastel, if that is lighter or lighter in pastel, kind of the same description. I don't know. Gold shimmer does contrast with the pink. This has, I don't even know what I would call the shimmer in this. It doesn't look gold next to this one. Maybe slightly, just barely green. I don't know. It's very subtle. It's contrast a little bit, but it's not nearly as contrast as High Fructose here. And then this is Robotica. This is a light, maybe medium pink holographic, just straight up holographic. So nothing super close here either. I do think these are kind of cousins, but not dupes by any means.
So Love's Labyrinth is going to be my favorite. I love a beautiful sage green, and I think it's such a nice color to add holographic to. Now, you can't really get a blinding holographic in a shade like this, but it's holographic enough. And I really, really like the color. So that one is my favorite. Honorable mention to Hall of Mirrors, though. Not super on my radar as a favorite when I was swatching it over the color that I used, but when I went to the website to get the description, the picture has it over this like milky neutral base color, and it looks so cool. And then I'm reading the website, and that's actually just over Mooncat's nail primer, which is like, obviously there are no rules and you can do whatever the F you want, but I would never have thought to just put a topper over a nail primer or a base coat. And I don't know why I need someone else to do that for me. I can't just come up with that idea on my own because it quote unquote breaks the rules, but I don't know. I have to give an honorable mention to this one because I really, really like what they put this over in the photos on the website. So that is the Mooncat Baroquen collection. Again, I will link the Mooncat website down below where you guys can check those out because they are available right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later.